Hi Taurus, this is your April 2019 reading. Happy birthday to Taurus Sun who are born in April, and to all of you a very happy start of season which begins on 20th of this month. So whether you're a Taurus rising, Sun or Moon, you will feel a reset happen this month. More importantly, this is a month when Pluto, Saturn and South Node are coming together for the first time ever in your house of belief, in your house of adventure. There is a blockage to your sense of adventure, your sense of faith in your future, that is being released this month, so you can take a leap of faith, so you can move closer to the career, move closer to the path, the life path that you want to go towards. And Uranus last month moving for the first time in your sign as well points towards that. Because Uranus in our sign is a sign of revolution of identity. It is a sign of shaking you out of your pre-existence, your comfort zone, and moving into an expansive tomorrow that is more in line with who you truly are. So there will be a release which will happen, and you already start experiencing that in my view since the 14th or 15th of March last month, when Uranus entered your sign and Pluto and South Node came within the orb that they need to, and they start initiating a purge of an ideology, a purge of a belief system, a purge of an existence which has been holding you back from becoming who you truly want to become, and take a next step in terms of changing your career, changing your direction, going towards a much more expansive education process in your life, and realizing the real purpose, the higher purpose of your existence. And that is not about sitting on a mountain and thinking about your life, though there's nothing wrong with it, but with you it has to be something concrete, something substantial, something which generate value for the world, because you are a earth sign, you're a grounded sign. You want to create something that is long lasting, but at the same time it has to be in line with your philosophy. It has to be in line with who you truly are, and that is the process that initiates from this month. It is a very, very critical turning point. We have never seen these 3 points and planets coming together ever in our lifetime, and we have never seen this kind of a thing changing, this kind of a change in perspective happen so far. So something will unplug and we move towards a very different direction in my viewpoint, and the initiation of that might happen around your new moon, which is happening next month. But this is the month to prepare for it. This is the month where we are in the process of becoming. You are on the verge of a very, very expansive future, and you know it in your core, you know it in your heart that you want to break free from an existing situation and move into a different one. And in order to do that, you will have to leave something behind. Last month when Mercury went retrograde in your house of vision, in your house of social network, in your house of friendship, there are certain people, vision, things that you realize they are not part of your future. They're not part of your future expansion. And that started a process of weeding out the goals, weeding out the vision, weeding out the people who are not going to be part of your tomorrow. And this is the month when you start creating your new tribe, the new set of people, the new vision, the new goal that will stick with you for a longer period of time. We are ending a phase of our life and initiating a new one. In the middle of the month, when Sun and Jupiter meet each other around 14th or 15th of the month, that is when the realization in my viewpoint will set in that an ending is impending. There is no way out of it, that the transformation is inevitable and an ending is inevitable. But because Jupiter is the one causing that ending or helping you in that ending, it is a very positive release. It is like a regeneration or a rebirth of sorts that you have been waiting for to get to the other side of the things. And that happens, that realization comes towards the middle of the month. But by the end of the month, you have to realize one thing, that we will be tested on our vision, because right now this is a higher purpose. This is a higher goal. It is a higher level plan. So the detail of that plan will get judged by the end of the month when Saturn becomes stationary and it meets South Node around 29th or 30th of the month. You can expect somebody to highlight the issues in your plan, highlight the legal gaps in your plan. What are the past legal issues that we have not handled? What are the past educational issues that we have not handled? What are the failures in the past that we are still holding on to, that are not letting us go ahead? What are the conditioning from our father figure, from our mentor, who have contributed to our growth in the past, but now that education, that mentoring is dysfunctional in our life and it has to be purged? It is an attitude of lack, an attitude of loss, an attitude of living within the boundaries of your pre-existence that needs to be broken down so you can move to the other side of the things. It is like, and I don't want to be sounding derogatory or anything, it is like a frog within the well. The frog decides that this is my world and he creates a well around him and he lives there. But then one day those walls are broken down, those are eroded, and he sees that there is a world out there which is completely different from the world he's been living in. He has been thinking that this is where he will live and he will thrive and survive, but suddenly he realizes he's just a small part of a very big universe, and that's where he wants to be. He wants to expand with that universe and become bigger than he is right now. So this realization of higher purpose, this realization of hidden desires, of this secret world out there, of this hidden world within yourself who wants to become more than who he is right now, he or she is right now, that realization, that expansion of your soul comes with the new moon at the start of the month. And towards the end of the month, you might look to end something as a result of that and take a turn for something different in your career. Take a turn for something different even in your pre-existing career. Do something away from what you've been doing, and you would want to do that by the end of the month. There is a speed to this month. Aries season is the season of speed, so things will happen with the speed of their own, and you'll be asked to respond to a speed during a time when you think it is a time of regeneration, it is a time of rest and preparing for your season. Things will take on a speed of their own. The success mantra for this month is to be ready to initiate things during this time, be ready to start something new at this time, be ready to connect with people, because you will meet people of importance this month. You need to be out and about and be networking with people to get an enhanced vision of your tomorrow and to get the right support system who will help you going forward. So this is the overview of what's happening. I'll first like to talk in detail about the Pluto-Saturn South Node conjunction, because this is just the first contact. This is just the first release. We'll continue to see Saturn and Pluto coming together during the course of next 7 months, all the way to about 12th of January 2020, when a cycle is ending and you start creating a very different structure and infrastructure of your life from January. The process, this is the year 2019 is the year where you're in the process of becoming. This is the year when the energy is in the cadent houses. You're preparing for the big moment, a big change in your career whose full potential will be revealed, in my viewpoint, to you in 2020. But you prepare, you lay down the foundations, very strong foundations during the course of 2019. More importantly, we start enjoying the journey, because that is what this year is about. It's about finding joy in taking a leap of faith and enjoying the journey as you do it. So let's dig into the details. First, we'll talk about that aspect, and then we'll dig, as usual, into the details of the month. I'll leave the timestamps so you can come back to the reading during the course of the month and during the course of rest of the year. Let's dig in. So as we start the month, the key aspect that is covering not just the start of the month and the middle of March all the way till end of April, but the whole next couple of months, is that Pluto and Saturn, they are in close proximity to each other in your house of education, in your house of expansion of mind. But more importantly, South Node this month is sitting with both of them. South Node is a point of purge. You're purging your soul of an old ideology, an old thought process, an old education which has become outdated, and you need to move to a new skill set. You need to, this normally happens when we are about to change our career, when we are about to enter a new education cycle, when we are about to evolve into a new place of living even, because you are looking to expand the experience of your soul and inculcate a different cultural experience in your being. You're looking to, Pluto shows up when we are ready to evolve to the next step in our life, but there is some limitation in our existing circumstances that we face. And hence we need to summon all the power within our soul to fight that limitation. In your case, the limitation could be in form of the qualification you have, the kind of education you have, the kind of belief system your father has inculcated in you, or the father figure in your life, the mentor figure in your life, the people who have been your teachers, your contributors to your life so far, who have created the philosophy you have about your life. That itself could be the cause of limitation, because sometimes the education or the over education comes with a fear of failure, and that fear of failure is the key thing that you need to remove this month. The boundaries that connect you to people who are different from you are self-imposed. It is self-imposed that I'm supposed to stay in this town, that I'm supposed to be part of this culture, that I'm supposed to belong to this religious belief, I'm supposed to be of this education, and hence this is my career. These are boundaries that are self-created, and a world different from your current one calls to you. You know that in your core that you want to get out of this well and be in a different world out there. But the world different from yours also scares us, because we have been told, do not interact with people who are different from you. They are not going to understand you well. You will fail if you go away from all that you have spent your last 20-30 years into. You have invested your life into education of a specific kind, and if you go into a different education right now, you go into a different line, you change your line altogether, then you will fail. But I can tell you one thing as a guarantee: when Uranus is in your sign, if you do not change, that is a failure in itself, because Uranus in our sign is all about starting something, doing something which is completely different from what you have done so far. The courage to establish your own truth in life is very, very rampant right now in your heart, and that has never happened before, because Uranus comes in your sign only once in 84 years. In our generation, in our working generation, there'll be at best 2 or 3 signs who will have the benefit of having Uranus in their sign. And Uranus, as I mentioned to you last month, it is the aspect of Alexander Graham Bell. It is the aspect of Nikola Tesla. These are the people who invented something that was not seen before. But they did not invent this out of thin air. They invented it on the basis of their established knowledge. So the first thing that you will be shown as a part of this is that the existing knowledge that you have is outdated in some way, and you maybe need to go for a course. Maybe you need to go and travel to another world to get more experience about a set of people who are living a life which is different from you. You need to get cross-cultural experience. Maybe you need to get experience in form of getting a mentor who has an ideology which is different from your previous one. Maybe you need to get a guru. Maybe you need to get a teacher right now. Maybe you need to involve in an exercise of publishing your viewpoints which you were scared of doing so far. You are becoming of other people here, and these people are different set of people, and the trigger of that might have happened around middle of last month itself. So around 14th or 15th of March, that must have been the point in time in my viewpoint when a very strong trigger in form of encounter with somebody has happened, which has got you in this position of release to some extent. So it could be, if you're a Taurus sun, it could have been an authority figure, and an encounter with an authority figure told you that this is not the place where you want to exist anymore. It could be an encounter with somebody, a client, a person of influence in your business network, and you looked at it and you said, that's not who I want to become, even if I spend my whole life doing this. So a trigger in my viewpoint happened with an incident last month, and if you're a Taurus moon, it could have been because of an encounter, an emotional encounter with a female figure during the middle of last month, which propelled you out of your well and showed you a completely different world that you want to become a part of. It sort of excites us from within, digs us within. Pluto is like, it does not take anything fake. So if there's anything within your heart and your soul that you've been telling yourself, this is fine, I can live with this, this is what I need to do right now to survive, Pluto does not want you to survive. It wants you to thrive. And in order to thrive for the next decade of your life, you are asked to give up what is old, what is outdated, what is clutter in your path, what is obscuring your power, your ability to start something which is based on your ideas, your dreams. You know that you can become more than who you are right now. So who and what are you giving your power away to right now? That realization comes very strongly and very easily and positively with Pluto. Unlike the other signs who are facing this in a negative fashion, you're facing this with a smooth action. But at the same time, because of that, sometimes we might lose the momentum. So keep an eye out for the things that are showing up in your path right now. This is an easier aspect for you. But sometimes, because it does not hurt us enough, we survive with it, we live with it, we go with it. But you do not want to do that. Uranus will not let you do that. When Uranus is in a sign, a chapter has to end. Life is not going to be ordinary going forward. You cannot sit still. The active mind will not let you sit still. You have this almost obsession within your heart to have a higher purpose in your life. And that is what Pluto is awakening in you. There's a passion within yourself which you did not know exist, which fits your soul purpose, a long held interest that you were not going all in into. You want to go all in now. A long-standing lack of conviction in an idea that you had, whether it is related to teaching, publishing, relocating, communicating something, belonging to a different set of people, relocating to a place, or becoming a citizen of a country you did not think you want to become, get a visa to a different set of country. The trigger of that is within you. You want to have something that you can call your own. You want to have a higher purpose of your life. When Pluto is here, we ask the questions like, why do I exist? What is the purpose of my existence? What is the higher purpose because of which I am right now here? And you are activated, you are empowered right now to find that meaning. We all need meaning, but some find it in idols, some find it in religion, some find it somewhere else. But for your sign, it has to be something concrete. It has to be a touch it, feel it, deliverable thing that you leave for yourself behind you, which is known for you, which is known for your name, that you want to leave behind. And in order to do that, you know that there are things that you need to leave behind. And there are some gaps in your vision that will get highlighted to you, either by the people who are your well-wishers, and this is a positive highlight. I would request you, one thing that Saturn always does when Ketu comes with it is that it dissolves our ego. It wants us to do that. It wants us to detach from the outcome of it all and remove our ego from it for an instance, to see where our gaps are and to accept those gaps as a very fair analysis for us to take in and understand that there are things I need to fix. And what kind of gaps could be highlighted to you? Legal issues. Legal issues is one of them. Education issues is one of them. Maybe legally you're not able to get the visa of that country or become a legal citizen of that country, or because of your legal past, legal issues in the past, there is some issues in moving forward. There might be educational gaps. You do not have the kind of education required for this change in career. You do not have the kind of tools required to become who you want to become in terms of your public image. And maybe you need to get that. Maybe you do not have the right supporters, the mentors, the people in the business influence who are strong in nature, who would support you and take you to a different place from where you are right now. But these are not showstoppers. These are the things in your foundation that you know are there, and the realization of them happens this month. And then over the course of next couple of months, all the way to July, you start working on correcting those issues, filling those gaps, creating a foundation that is much stronger, because Saturn comes here only once in 29 years. So this is most of our career. You're creating a foundation of your career that is going to last you lifelong. So you look at those gaps and make sure that none of those exist. When next year you're put in the position of leadership, there are none of those gaps that remain in your past. And that is what we start doing from the end of this month all the way till July. In July, when Sun and Saturn meet each other around 14th of July, that is when the turn of events happen. When we move to the other side of things and we start seeing the results of us fixing some of those gaps, the results of taking a course, result of moving to a position which is giving us higher education, on the job education, which is enhancing our skills. You have to expand the very frame of the life you're operating in right now. And there is nothing more exciting than this. It will feel like hard work, but enjoy the journey. Because you are having a seek preview of your future right now. This is a future which is full of gifts and it's yet to be unfolded. It is a very, very exciting journey you are embarking upon. Not a lot of signs are gifted with both of these aspects, but yours is. So make use of the positivity of these aspects. Your belief system is going to make or break you over here. Your faith in your future is going to make you break over here, because there are sometimes some things in our belief system that become self-defeating prophecy to some extent. I am not supposed to be bigger than who I am right now. You will fail if you take a risk, if you don't obey to the rules of my religion, the rules of the game. And these are the things that have been inculcated by our religion, by our father figures, by our mentors. If you go beyond the path that your forefathers have gone on, you will fail. These are the things in our psyche which are getting purged, and we see the underbelly of our own thought process, of our own belief system, which we have been revering so far, the mentor figure, the father figures who we have been revering so far. We see the reality and the gaps in their vision come about as a result of that. We see that in the political events around us, right? When Pluto and South Node, they have been in proximity for the last 2 or 3 weeks, the underbelly of the society has been exposed to the world. The things that we accepted as okay, as norm in the society, but they are not in terms of misuse of power and the way we have been oppressed and repressed, the people, the few people who control the resources, and similarly in your life who control the resources, the few people, how they have repressed your creativity, how they have inculcated within your mind that you're not supposed to think beyond your current boundaries. That comes out in the open and you realize, no, I don't have to live in my own cage of my own belief system. And this is a very important moment for you. With the new moon that is happening as well at the start of the month, this is ending of an old faith system, of an old spiritual belief system even. And I don't mean in any offense. None of the religious books or any of the religions meant to kept us where we are. They were all about expanding us beyond where we are right now. But at the same time, we were taught what our parents or our mentors knew best in that time. You are of the future. You are creating things for the future. So there is a replacement of talents, a replacement of thought process, a replacement of way of communicating with people, which happens as a result of your process of moving to the future, or your process of introducing something that people have never seen before. The Taurus of our generation will become the inventors of our generation. And in order to become inventors of your generation, there are tools that need to be done, because as I mentioned last month, Uranus in Taurus is not about just jumping off the cliff. It is about jumping off the cliff with the right tools, with the parachute, with the proper training, with the proper safety net in hand, because you have to, the key to success of Uranus and Taurus is about preparation, about having the right steps, of doing the right things, because you are creating something that has perseverance, that has reality in it, that has earth element in it, which has value to the world. So sorry it took a long time, but this is something which you will experience over a longer period of time, because Saturn and Pluto again in this area will meet around 12th of January 2020. But before they start a new 34-year cycle of your life, there is an ending and creation of a new foundation and a process of you becoming something else. And Saturn and South Node will meet again on 10th of May. On 30th of April. And then they'll meet again on 4th of July. and then they'll meet again on 28th of September. So they will keep on being in contact, telling you the gaps in your foundation so you can keep fixing them over the next couple of months and enhance your knowledge, enhance those gaps. And July eclipse will be a major trigger point of you launching something which is based on this new skill set, this new higher mind, this new higher purpose. You look towards July to communicate something which is of substance, which is based on this new skill set. But right now it might be the time for you to get into that expansive cycle. We will face this around 23 degree. Pluto is around 23 degree of Taurus, which is if you're born around 13th of May. If you're born around 13th of May, in fact from 10th to 13th of May, or if your planets between 20 to 23 degree, this is a very key and pivotal point in time for you. This is where Pluto is sitting right now. So your mind, your higher mind, the higher thinking is empowered right now. You are the sign, you are the people who will be asking the most, what is the purpose of my existence? If you have planets around 13th of May, and you might be physically experiencing that. If you have planets around 23 degree of Taurus, if you have planets between 20 to 23 degree of Taurus, which means if you're born between 10th to 13th of May, you'll feel this very, very strongly in your core that you need to deliver something, this obsession that I need to make an impact that will be felt very, very strongly within your heart. Then if you have planets between 13 degree to 20 degree of Taurus, which means you're born between 3rd of May to 10th of May, if you're a Taurus sun, or if you're a Taurus sun or a Taurus sun, moon or rising with degrees between 13 to 20 degree, you will find the gaps of what you have created so far. You will be refurbishing your foundations either by taking a course, or maybe you took a course at the start of the year and you decided that no, I need to take a different one, or I need to enhance my knowledge further, or maybe I need to leave the job and do something which is different right now and maybe go for a sabbatical, maybe go for a course. Those kind of thought processes in terms of gaps of our foundation, fixing the legal issues, fixing the education issues, fixing the tools that are required for you to become all you can. When Saturn moves into your sign, into your house of work on 22nd of March 2020, you start acquiring those tools, because from next year, from March onwards, it's showtime. It will be the time when you'll be tested on these tools. So you start studying, you start preparing, you start taking the on-job trainings, etc. Everything that is required for you to move to the future. So this was the overview of this aspect, and these planets, Saturn and Pluto, they will make the final conjunction on 12th of January 2020. But before that, they will remain in close proximity to each other, especially in the next 2 or 3 months. Then again from end of November all the way to end of February. So these are the times when you'll feel that your foundations are shifting. Specifically around these times. The trigger dates could be 30th of April, 5th of April, 4th of July, 28th of September. These could be trigger dates for you. And then again in July, around 9th and 15th of July, when Sun and Saturn and Sun and Pluto make a contact, there is a realization of turn of events, that you have turned a chapter in your life, that you have turned the page in your life. It is just a step in you becoming more than who you are right now, but you'll feel it in your core, in my view, around July, that you have made progress, which is very, very significant in a very short period of time. So this is the overview. Let's dig into the rest of the month. On 5th of this month, we have a beautiful new moon. I spoke about it in a separate video as well. And this is happening in your house of soul, in your house of faith. You're looking at infusing fresh soul, fresh regeneration, fresh energy into your life before your season begins. And it might require you to take some time away from the crowd in order to do that. You might be working on things, because this is Aries is a very active season, and Mars is in Gemini. So you're busy communicating, you're busy trying to find new ways to make money. You're busy networking with people, forming the group of people. You're very charming at this point in time with Venus in your house of networking. You can charm anybody right now. and Venus is your ruler, and it is so strong right now. It is the time to attract prosperity. It is the time to attract a new crowd to you. It is the time to be out and about and be interacting with people. And you're sort of making up time because last month when Mercury was retrograde in this house for you, there might have been some miscommunication with your friends. There might have been some miscommunication in terms of you not being able to put your work out there. The acceptance of your ideas might have been low last month. In fact, mentally you might be feeling that things are not moving. They're very, very stagnant last month. And now with Mercury moving direct and in the season of Aries, things just start moving with the speed of their own. There's so many planets in their own sign that this becomes a month inevitably of manifestation. So things start turning around. The things that you reach out, the people who you reach out to, the people who you want to connect with, a new vision that you want to create with a new set of people, that starts coming to fruition. You start seeing people suddenly supporting your ideas, words flowing much easily, you being able to write something which is suitable for a larger set of people. You start seeing the mind becoming more open to ideas as well. And as you do that, as you interact with people around you, this new moon which is happening on 5th of April, it tells you that there needs to be a time taken away from the crowd for you to care for yourself. A self-care is very, very essential before your season begins, because you want to be physically ready for it and not exhaust yourself fully before that happens. And how do we do that? We could activate because you have to do it very actively in the season of Aries. Most of the people will be like, let's go to the spa, regenerate, let's travel, sleep, etc. That is how most of the signs, they spend the time before their season, but not you. For you, it has to be something active. You have to do something active. It could be yoga practice, it could be an exercise, it could be you going trekking or being alone for some time where you're doing something physically active. You actually doing the work required for your birthday, but away from the crowd, behind the scenes at this point in time. More importantly, you need to inculcate a practice of self-generation, self-preservation to some extent. So something needs to be done which helps you care for you right now, because you are dealing with a lot psychologically right now. And I am sorry, I don't like to say that to your sign, because you are a very, very practical sign. You're normally in tune with the now. But when there is so much happening in our physical persona with Uranus there, it's like our body and mind vibrates at a frequency higher than normally, which can tire us mentally, which can tire us physically, which can cause a churn within our gut even to some extent. So in order to handle all of it, you need to take some time away from the crowd, clear your mind, heal and care for you right now. What you could do very actively is do something to help somebody behind the scene. Volunteer, do things behind the scene in terms of charity, or just if you have a love partner, because this is a very, very romantic month as well for you, doing things behind the scene in the area of romance with the whirlwind of activity which is happening right now around you, just behind the scene, being with your partner or having a new spiritual practice, something, your sanctuary away from it all. You need to create something, and you need to create a environment in your mind of clearing the old out. Forgive and forget and move on. This new moon is a mega purge. It's a mega purge. You are feeling very, very light. You'll feel very light in the journey that you're about to take. You will feel whole. You will feel very enlightened. You will be releasing fears. And as you release fears, you will discover your talents. You will discover some unexplored talents that you have that you've never seen before. You will explore undiscovered passion, undiscovered desires that you have not been able to get in touch with because of something that was covering it all up. When we look at our life with a happy lens, there are so many positive things universe highlights to us. It's like when we look at a screen and we say point out the red, and suddenly across the world you're just seeing red. You just see red more. Similarly, if you're looking for the good right now in your life, You will see much, much more good than you have seen before. You will see the positives right now. And a new spiritual existence, a new peace of soul, a new peace of mind is created. Be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. Aries is the season when we have to do things for ourselves. Be away from your undoing. If there are people, substances, instruments that you know they're sucking your energy, be away from them. De-stress right now. De-stress right now. Infuse to be in a more blissful place in your life. Your soul will feel very energized after this. Ninth house, where the Pluto and Saturn conjunction is happening, and where this new moon is on in the 12th house, these are the houses of moksha. These are the houses of finding power, which activates your soul. All this feeling, I have to suffer to get to a good place. I have to be punished to get to a positive place in life. The feeling of suffering, the feeling of lack, the feeling of negativity, the feeling of fear, all of that gets purged up. Joy is eternal over here. You're clearing your subconscious. You're cutting the umbilical cord here. This is the house where all the fears when we were born existed in the person giving birth to us. So they are the fears that are not truly ours. They came from a place we don't know why they are there. These are the things that exist in our psyche. We do not know why they are there, and we are removing them. We're starting a completely new enlightened chapter. And with Aries here, you might choose to fight a battle for all of you. You might be doing something which is good not just for you, but for a larger set of people. You might be leading a set of people into a new spiritual practice. You might be leading a set of people into a new charity that you want to create. You might be leading people into fighting for a cause that creates positivity for a larger set of people. Because at 15 degree of Aries, you're expected to lead. You're expected to lead and do something which becomes an independence and freedom for a larger set of people. Because at 15 degree of Aries, we have a star called star Alpha. This is a star which is known for honor and fame because a person chooses to free himself and the society at large. So you might be, if you're into the field of spirituality, if you're in a creative field, you might be freeing a larger set of people by being who you are. By becoming all you can become, you might be helping and inspiring a larger set of people. John Glenn, the first US astronaut, had this in his chart. He orbited the Earth. The first person who decided something which is so crazy, right? We're leaving the gravity behind and I'm going to just orbit the Earth. He decides to be free of the fear. He decided to be free of the inertia. He decided to be free of the gravity, the pull of the comfort zone of the Earth. And he decided to do something which can be bizarre for other people, but it can free other people to do that thing because it became a norm. Now people want to live in space. So that kind of a change, this new spiritual groundbreaking thing that you do behind the scene, the new long distance travel, the new spiritual practice, the things that are moving so fast, you are asked to do things that impact your security, your emotional fulfillment, your your sense of self and your self-care. But in the process of doing that, you will directly or indirectly help other people. Two things I need you to be careful about is that when we are in this house and Aries is in that house, sometimes us trying to be too quick with things can land you a traffic ticket. I'm sorry, this is completely away from the point, but these are points you need to be careful about in this season. Don't try to drive faster than what is required right now in your life and on the road. Because this is a house of legal, this is a house of getting into legal troubles sometimes because you're trying to go too fast, and it is not the time to go too fast right now on physical level. So being careful when you're driving, being careful of getting into any health issues even because of going too fast. Being a little bit careful on these two accounts. I'd like you to be careful on those. And to some extent, if you think there is a health trouble that has been sort of bothering you in the past. There is something which comes to open that you need to handle a health trouble at this point in time. There's a quick process which happens. You realize very quickly how to handle it. It's a quick come and go if some health issues, even if they come out. So this is the beautiful full moon, new moon that is happening on 5th of April. It will have an impact on you all the way till 19th of April when you should initiate something. In fact, if you are planning to initiate something behind the scene, if you're planning to maybe create a new spiritual practice, create a new influential new practice, do it around 7th or 8th of April when moon is in your sign, and you will feel the emotional reset to do it. On 7th of April, Mercury and Saturn are together. This is the time to put structure to your vision. So all this talk about meeting the influential people, meeting the right set of people, that starts happening in my viewpoint around 7th of this month. 7th to 9th of this month, specifically 9th of this month, there might be some sort of karmic meeting or a message that comes over the internet or an interaction that you have which makes you feel ready for something. You feel ready to launch a website, launch a publication, launch a communication, or launch something that will be of influence to a larger set of people. You're putting structure to your vision right now. You're meeting the right set of people. You're creating a process of creating. This is your viewpoint. You influencing people. You're very, very effective in communicating something right now, especially around 7th of April. And then again around, I think it's when Mercury and Pluto are together, which is about 10th of this month. So this is the time when you should set up a meeting, you should meet somebody. 7th or 10th of April will be the time. If I need to negotiate something with somebody in my business network, or I need to find a new mentor, or I need to create a new publication, I need to create a new website, I'll do that around 7th or 9th of this month. And you will meet somebody. I think because of you being out and about, and the key to success this month is being out and about, you will meet somebody or have an interaction with somebody which will show you the path to it around 9th of April. So this is the initial trigger when you feel that your dreams are possible. 10th of April is a very, very astrologically active day. This is the day when you feel the conviction in your vision. You'll feel the conviction and you'll find the support for it. With Venus and Neptune together in your house of inspiration, you will make some idea very, very popular. You can make some idea very, very popular. This is especially true if you have planets around 17 degree of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus sun born around 7th of May, I will choose 10th of April to have a very, very potent discussion. Even if you're born around 13th or 14th of May, around those, so a couple of days before and after that, couple of days before and after 7th of May or around 14th of May, I will choose that day. I will choose 10th. I'll choose probably 7th to create my own structure, have the discipline to create my own structure, my own thought process, and then 10th to actually talk to a person of influence. You will find your tribe. You'll dissolve your old set of people who have been influential in your life, and find a new set of people who will take your private wealth to a completely different level. This is the house of making big bucks. This is the billionaire club, and I'm sorry I'm saying that, but it just is. You have to move into something which is wild and different and completely more expansive as compared to where you exist. You have to have a vision bigger than your current existence. And you make the right contacts right now who show you that life, who dissolve your boundaries to let others and other ideologies in. Forgive the past, forgive somebody. When Mercury and Pluto are meeting together and Saturn are meeting together from 7th to about 10th or 11th, this is also a time if there was an issue in the past with a friend, a miscommunication with somebody in your business network in the past, that gets resolved, because this is the second go. We had some issues last month in terms of our communication with somebody. That gets resolved, reworked, we move forward. And then on 12th of this month, in my view, on 12th and 15th are good news days. These are the days, positive days financially as well. Maybe some commercial abundance or some signs of success come through, or some sort of acceptance of your idea, windfall of sort. You feel over the top in my viewpoint on these dates, on 12th and 15th of the month. Now the whole of these aspects, they're very, very, as I mentioned, 17 degree of Taurus. That is one degree where we see a lot of positivity focused. We also see a lot of positivity focused between 20 to 24 degree. The same who are most affected by Pluto, who are feeling in their gut that they need to deliver something of value, they find some first results come through. So people born between 10th to 14th of May, this will be a very, very influential and positive time for you specifically. Jupiter will be standing still at 24 degree. Jupiter will be standing still, and it will be asking you to realize that you can become much more, and it will show you some financial abundance, some signs of being able to earn money beyond your salary right now, which will make you end an old chapter of your life around this time. And Jupiter will be standing still from 5th to 15th of this month, around 24 degree. So if you're born around 14th or 15th of May, you know that you'll have to incorporate a very different part of you into your life, which is going to let you be more abundant in future. During this time, so this is all happening between 7th to 15th or 16th of April. Very, very astrologically heavy time. Too many influences. All of your personal planets, Mercury and Venus, your heart and your mind, they are getting the conviction, they're getting the ideas, they're getting the interaction from other people of a new idea, of a new existence. And you start seeing some positivities, a very positive frame of mind about this conversion, about this change. But what happens right now, as I mentioned earlier, is that you will be tested on this. And that sign of test, the first sign of test, will also happen in these dates, around 10th of April and around 13th of April. These are the dates of test of faith. Your hidden desires, they will meet some sort of challenge or conflict, because when you're becoming completely different from who you are, there are people in your past, there are people who brought you up so far, the people who build you up to become who you are right now, who are from your previous life. They will question your path. They will question, are your talents really of the value? Is it worth traveling there? Is it worth taking that risk? They will question all of that. Even your own past fears and beliefs, they will come to be reckoned with. You meet them head on. You meet them with a lot of willpower. You meet them with the right reasoning, but at the same time, you dissolve your ego a little bit to consider those issues in all earnest. And you move forward with the knowledge of what the limitations are, what are the legal issues, what are the educational issues, what are the inhibitions that I will face going forward, where more work is required. That recognition comes with the gift of this rebirth. So around 14th of this month, when Sun and Jupiter are meeting together, and you have this clear vision in your mind that I need to end something, I need to evolve from where I am. That is also the point in time when you are made to realize that there are limitations that you will face, there are resistance that you will face, that there are things that you need to overcome, that more work is required to grow this opportunity to become as financially viable as you want it to be. But at the same time, Jupiter makes it much easier to experience. You are growing something, not diminishing something. So the feeling is completely different. The feeling is that, okay, I need to grow this more. This can become more. Yes, you're right about what you're saying. If I remove this hurdle, if I took that course, if I remove that legal issue from my history, yeah, I can become more. These are growth opportunities, not diminishing opportunities. So there is an enthusiasm which comes with it, the feeling of impending change, that something is about to turn out. You're opening yourself to trust your future right now. In fact, if you're in a love relationship, if you have opened yourself up to somebody, and as I said, this is a great month for romance, if you have opened yourself for somebody, a new level of depth with them, because you're opening yourself to intimacy and more trust from other people. So depth in relationship, and you see that there's possibility of achieving much more depth with that person, much more pleasure with that person. You're merging your talents, you're merging your love life, you're merging your resources with somebody. And you realize that something more is possible with that person. But what happens around this time, around the middle of the month, all the way to end of the April, all the external planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, they will go retrograde. What that means is that the external social influences as well as external support, it is going to be paused for a moment. You will be asked to now work with what the world has shown you so far, what the aspects have shown you so far, the doors that have been opened, the gaps that have been highlighted, the power that you've been given. All three of those things now you're asked to incorporate in your life. So the next couple of months, that's what you do all the way till July. Doesn't mean that progress stops. It just means that external influences are low and you're asked to measure these things on your own barometer without external influences. Is this in line with who I want to become? Is this in line with who I am? Is this in line with the kind of boundaries that I want to create in my love life, in my personal life? Where did I say yes, where I should have said no? Those will be the kind of questions you will be answering only to yourself for the next couple of months. On 17th of April, Mercury is moving into behind the scenes. So, you have a new mind, you're being very direct, you'll be resolving some past issues, but at the same time, as I said, there is a need for solitude that will be underlying during this month. And till your new moon around 4th or 5th of this month, 4th or 5th of May, you will continue to need that, the silence of the mind, the silence, the physical gap in between, taking an hour or 1 hour away from the crowd in the waking moment, when it's just you working through your transformation, and you'll need that. Similarly, if you have to end something, from 17th of April, when Mercury is in Aries in the house of endings, you will be very direct about ending things. You'll be very clear-cut and direct about ending things, and you will end things from 17th of April all the way till 4th or 5th of May. Then on 20th of April, Sun moves into your sign. Happy birthday to Taurus Sun. The focus and light is completely on you. You'll feel physically energized, ready to go, ready to put new roots, ready to form a new cycle that you've never seen before. You know it in your bones, you'll know it in your soul that something is about to change right now. And that is also the moment when we had the full moon. The full moon, which is happening on 19th of May, is happening at 29 degree of Libra. This is a full moon of ending an old chapter. 29 degree of a cardinal sign is about actively ending something, actively ending a situation of imbalance, actively ending a situation which was not tilted in your favor to some extent, where you were doing way too many things for others versus taking care of you. So you come out of your hibernation, you come out in your own season, and you start making the changes which are good for you, which highlight you, which put you in the spotlight in your workplace, which put you in your spotlight in your health area. The routines of your life have to be tilted in your favor. Your day-to-day routine has to be changed in some way for it to be more in your favor. So you'll start making the changes in your health routine and your work routine, in your work environment, even changing the workplace that you are in right now. Specifically, if you're early born Taurus, the first couple of degrees, so 22nd, 23rd, 24th April born Taurus, you will probably be changing the place of work. ending an old contract and signing a new one. And this is coming with a little bit of wild card energy, because at this point in time, Sun is sitting very close to Uranus in your sign. There is an ending, irrevocable ending, an irrevocable end of a cycle that comes with it. When Sun and Uranus are together, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of excitement in doing something new, in completely changing your life. And that gives you the impetus, the unreasonable to some extent, or radical confidence in your life to end something which was a situation of imbalance, which was a situation in which you were not taken care of, where the balance did not exist. So this is a full moon of completing an old chapter, and this is a second full moon in this area. You also had one at the end of March, so you might have started a process to end an old career, to end an old workplace, and now sort of that comes to a conclusion at this point in time. In symbolic astrology, 29 degree of Libra is shown as a woman going through a bizarre new world, and she's awake. She's not living in a dream, but it feels like she's living in a dream. You'll feel like you're living a dream. You'll feel like you're in a fantasy world, because it will be you doing things that you've never done before. But you will be fully awake in your own dream. It's a beautiful, beautiful full moon, but be ready to let go something structurally. To some people, when Pluto and South Node are together, and Saturn and South Node are together, if we are too attached to the belief system, too attached to what our education was previously, too attached to our old purpose in life, you will feel like a bit of a loss. There is a loss which is felt when our old purpose is being given in, and we are being told that, you know what, that is outdated. That education is outdated. It's like, and I don't mean it in an offensive way, but when we were growing up, civil engineering became obsolete. It was the it thing previously. It was the it thing previously. And then you suddenly look at so many civil engineers, and they suddenly realize, my education is of no use today, because the current generation, the millennials and the people who are there right now, they are relying on completely different technology. That is the feeling of loss that might be there. That is the kind of loss I'm talking about, that your old skill set, they have become outdated, and the realization that a completely new skill set need to be taken on, that comes out to be very, very clearly this month. But you are the sign who are the inventor of our generation. So you create the new reality for yourself, and you end something towards the end of the month. Then on 24th of the month, we have Pluto going retrograde. I spoke about it in detail at the start of the month. That is when you'll start feeling very, very powerful to go for a new vision of your life. 27th of this month is when I want you to be very, very careful financially. You have Mars throughout this month sitting in a house of resources. So you'll be working on many new financial ideas with the new network that you're creating. You will be overall getting a new vision of the financial reality you want to create. But between 25th to 29th of April, if there's a person in your network, a person in the business network who's giving you certain ideas, because people can sense this physically, that you want to earn more, that you want to create more resources, and they come up with some Ponzi idea, I want you to not pay heed to that between 25th to 29th of April. Do not get into a fresh investment idea on these dates. From 25th to 29th, do not make a huge expense on these dates. From 25th to 29th, but specifically 27th of April. You might be misled at this moment by somebody. It's a good time to be inspired from a self-confidence perspective, be even flattered to some extent that somebody wants to work with you in your network who's of influence, but do not get into a financial contract with them from 25th to 29th of April. And that is the wrap for this month. I am so excited about this process of you becoming who you truly want to be. I am really, really honored to be part of your journey. Taurus of our generation, they will show us the light. They will show us what invention, what new thought process, what completely radically new ideas look like. And I'm really excited to be part of your journey. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next month in your birthday season. Happy birthday to Taurus Sun again.